Hey, good morning, everybody. It's milking time here at Whole Living Farm. Me and Rosie out here in the barn with the kitties. Chip wants something to eat. So here we go. Say good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Haida. Hey, no. Haida. She likes to kick her grain out. Whoops. There's Pearl. Say good morning, Pearl. There's the new fella. Morning, Fonz. Looks like you got a beard this morning.
No milk mustache.
No. Laying underneath Mama's tail. Fonzie. Alfonso. Oh, there he goes. Morning, Pearl.
Am I scared? I'm scared. Hey, Mama.
What you got in your hand?
I have some lovely herbs for my sweet cow to keep her milk extra nutritious and her body healthy. It's mixed with water and some garlic because garlic makes everything better. It's always a good idea to feed her the garlic while I'm milking her so that our milk doesn't taste like garlic, as opposed to giving her the garlic last night and then milking her this morning, and then we would have garlic tainted milk. Now the fawns will have lovely garlic milk.
And it'll help him too.
Yeah, they will. And he'll be a fan of Italian.
Yes, Rose. You got something to say? You got something to add?
Do you like kitties? Kitties? All right, Mommy has to clean that cell out so we.
What you doing now?
I am cleaning up to have a cleaner milking environment.
It's probably pretty important, right?
Right?
If you're gonna drink raw milk,
Drink
and make sure it doesn't have poo in it.
cleanest environment possible. Oh, buddy. It keeps the fly population down.
You want to talk about what we did to prepare Pearl for this before she had her calf?
We were a little bit steady for a lot of days, weren't we, Pearl? So when we got Pearl, she lived in a pasture like a cow likes to do. She was in the sunshine and outside all the time. And she didn't hang out with people a whole lot. And so we wanted her to hang out with people and be super friendly because we have a lot of kids. And so we started, she'd be outside during the day, and then in the evenings we would bring her in, and she spent her nights in here and got used to that, which was weird for her at first. She didn't want to drink water, she didn't really want to eat. because she wasn't sure why she wasn't out in the sunshine. But she was fine. She had access to it if she got really hungry or really thirsty. And then every morning we would come out and we would pretend like we were going to do whatever it was that we needed to do in the mornings. And we started just with the first thing. So the first thing was every morning we came and put a halter on her, and then wanted her to put her head in that milk stanchion. So we'd come out and we'd put the halter on her and we'd walk over and feed the rope through, because she weighs like 10 times more than either one of us do. And so we would feed the rope through so we had a little bit of leverage, and we would just keep it constant so it was keeping her face forward. And the phrase I want her to respond to is load up. So I would pull it through and just say, load up.
Mama.
Yep, Mama, because we call her Mama. Load up, Mama. And then we just wait. And I wasn't like tugging and pulling. We'd just stand there with that pressure so that her face was pulled forward. Load up, Mama. And then she didn't move for a long time. Like for a lot of days, she didn't respond to that. And so we just had all the time in the world to get her to put her face in there. You just keep that constant pressure. And if she doesn't give, you give it a little more pressure, but we're not jerking and jerking, because then we're fighting with her and she outweighs us, so she'll win. So we did that for several days until finally one morning we put her thing through and said, load up. And she walked in. There was like a little happy dance going on in here. And every time she put her head in, there was something nice in there for her. Alfalfa pellets, Timothy pellets, lots of things, so that she would think, oh, when I go in here, this is a happy place. I like it in here. And then once we put her in, we would just brush her down and rub on her until we got to the point where she would go in and she would be settled, and then we would be able to like rub down and touch her udder, because she didn't like that at first either. And so
Rosie is protesting her jacket.
yeah, she's done wearing a coat.
You done wearing your coat?
Mom, you talk too much.
You want me to take your coat off? Okay. Mama washing off the udder and the teats. Make sure everything's nice and clean.
What are you doing?
Nobody likes dirty coffee cream. Or cheese, or ice cream, or yogurt. What's that thing you're doing there?
It's called stripping the teats, in case the Fonz has anything gross in his mouth, or she just picked up something, like she laid in something gross, and any bacteria got inside the orifice. You just squeeze out the first couple bits of milk. Nobody wants them. Could have grabbed a bowl for the cats, they want them. But then you have a clean working surface. The hands are clean. And away you go.
So she calved, not this past Friday, but the Friday before.
That's right.
So he's a little over a week old.
Yep, 8 or 9 days.
So we didn't start keeping the milk until yesterday, right?
Correct. He got all the milk he wanted. For the first 8 or 9 days, I did have to come out and take, I got about a half a gallon every day actually from her, because she just was making too much, that it was painful for her to feed him.
Yeah, so she was relieving the pressure because he wasn't eating all that she had to offer.
And had we not done that, her reaction would have been to just stop offering so much milk.
Yeah.
But we definitely want milk, that's why we're doing all this. So I didn't want her to stop making the milk, or to get incredibly uncomfortable and just not be able to feed him. Not to be able to stand to let him nurse.
So how much are we getting now?
I didn't measure yesterday, actually.
You said
I think I
about
only took about a half a gallon, but we didn't separate him either. He was in here the whole time. So I didn't measure it. I think this bucket holds 1.5 gallons. It was not full. It wasn't even half full. So probably got half a gallon yesterday.
and you're not milking her out in the morning,
No, I'm
right?
not emptying her. I'm just taking some. I'm not greedy. I just need some milk for my kids.
And a half gallon a day is
That will add up over time. Thank you.
She's helping you keep the flies off of you.
Right. There aren't any really in here. Eventually we will want more because we'll be making cheese and all that kind of stuff. But right now we're kind of trying to get in the rhythm. So just like we slowly started teaching her to put her head in there, we're kind of slowly easing ourselves into the fresh abundance of milk. Can I help you? I feel you shifting your weight.
And you also got to watch her because she likes to pick up that
This foot
back
closest
right.
to me.
And sometimes if she picks it up, she doesn't kick, but she kind of like will try to flick your hand away sometimes
Yeah,
if she
steps
gets
down in
impatient.
protest.
But she'll step in the bucket or she'll kick the bucket over, and then that's not good.
And we have to remind ourselves that you shouldn't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
But then the bucket's dirty and nothing that we would have milked would be keepable.
Oh, there was a chicken. Chickens are on that side. Cows are on this side. Starting maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Tuesday,
Can't shift on me.
I'll come out here in the morning and start separating the calf before I head out for work. That way Bernadette has a couple hours before milking where she's building up milk that we can take, and that'll increase our
What I'm getting out. It'll
our
come
kitty.
out faster.
Hey, so here's what we're about to do. The cows have been in that pasture for a few days, and the horses have been in this one. We're going to have to take the fence on the far side and move it up this way so that the animals on that side can get to the water bucket, and the animals, we're going to move the cows into this pasture because the cows, especially the mama, she eats things that the horses won't eat. So we'll move her over here. We'll kick her out some more hay because there's just not enough forage in here for her to keep busy all day. So we'll do that, and the way we'll do that, I'll walk you over here and show you. Morning, kittens. We have a cat. We got two cats we got as kittens from a local greenhouse. And the kids named them Corin and Nyrock, both females. Corin had her kittens back the last little part of winter there. Early spring. Still cold here in upstate New York. And she had, I think, 5, but only 3 made it. The other ones we think just got cold. Anyway, and then Nyrock, the other cat, she had her kittens like 2 days before Fonz was born, so 2 days before the calf was born. Anyway, so you can see we've kept the animals off of this one, and it's not where it needs to be as far as recovery because we grazed it too low. We only have 3 acres here, so we do a lot of supplementing with hay because we have to, but we're going to try to see what we can get out of this and try to rotationally graze this as best as possible so that they have good, clean, new forage. So I'm going to partition off with electric fence a strip up there, and then I'm going to come back this way, take it by the barn, and then over to so the horses can get to the water. And then we'll move that a little bit back this way every day and give them something clean and new to graze, and then we'll send the cows in behind them to eat what they wouldn't eat. So that's what we're going to do. I'll get back with you when we get that done. Alright, so we got done with the fence moving, and we got the cows and the horses put out on pasture. Go over here and see the cows first. There she is. And there he is. So that's where the horses were. We'll walk over to the horses now. We changed up the plan. Bernadette kind of made a recommendation to preserve. We were going to make a lane back to the watering trough behind the barn so that they could get to it. But instead of doing that, because what that would do is it'd create a path right here on the other side of the fence, and it'd be hard on the grass. And we don't need any help being hard on the grass because we really have too much stock on our acreage right now. So what we did was we, there's Chip. He's like, what are we doing? We just ran the wire straight across all the way to the other side, and put their water buckets, both of them, down there. So we'll check on that. We're not going anywhere today anyway, so we'll check on that periodically. And make sure it stays topped off with cold water. What I do need to do next though, because there's not a whole lot of forage left in the cow pasture, is move that hay bale over there with the tractor. So maybe I'll get some footage of that if Amazra will help me out, which I'm sure she will because she likes photography, so I'm sure she'll hold the camera for me. Say good morning, Maddie.
Good morning.
She's reading a book. Shocker. She likes to read. What Bernadette's doing right now, though, is making pancakes for breakfast this morning. And right here at our property line, there's a bunch of wild raspberry bushes. And so she came out here and she picked just a handful. But Yeti loves it, so that's what she's gonna do. So I'm gonna pause right here. I'll get the tractor warmed up, come back at you. So like I said, we have too much stock on our property for what the grass will handle. So just gonna show you real quick, one of the things we do to mitigate this. You can see this, the horses took this down to nothing, which we're really low on rain. So that really hurts what we're doing. So going in the future, we're gonna try to keep them moving all the time so it never gets this low again. But what we need to do to kind of fix what we did with poor management here is we're gonna roll out the round bale. Does two things. It covers the ground so that the sun doesn't get in there and bake the grass and kill it. Another thing that it does is it gives her something to eat while she's in here. So just gonna show you how this is done real quick. Hey buddy. This is the first time he's ever seen the tractor up close and personal. And his mama's gonna roll this bale over up on top of him.
She's scratching her neck.
Yeah. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll take this. Nettie? Off this way. Come on. Get it underneath. Go to the side. Same way like this. And I will down and roll this off this way. See how it starts to come off? And if it doesn't start to come off, which it did, I would take my knife and just make a slice across the hay to get it to come off.
And then
This is
we're
a whole
rolling
lot
it out.
easier with a couple other chiddlers helping you, but everybody's doing something right now. So you can see this has been sitting out just in the rain and the elements. So this outer part is kind of yucky, broke down, and moldy, but she won't eat that anyway. And if she does, she's a ruminant, so it won't hurt her.
But we would probably not feed it to the horses.
Yeah, we wouldn't feed it to the horses. Horses would just pull it off and not eat it. But you can see this inside stuff is just fine. And this is last year's hay. So I'll just roll this out a minute. And you can see it'll give the ground a nice covering. And I will keep it on the bale. That way if I need to move the bale again when we move her, it's too easy to pick it up. So her wraps this little part up. Hey, so I'm just gonna wrap up this vlog by talking a little bit about perfection vs experience. We know that we don't have the forage necessary to support the stock that we have on our property, on our farm right now. Went through how we roll out the hay bales, cover up the ground, and what that does is it gives the ground a covering so the sun doesn't hinder it, so it doesn't bake the soil and kill the microbes. It also gives the cattle something to eat, the horses something to eat, while the grass is not able to catch up with their consumption. What that also does is it feeds the soil, because as they step on that hay, it pushes that soil or that hay down into the soil, and then the earthworms and stuff can pull those nutrients down into the soil. We talked yesterday, or the last vlog post, about how we're not perfect, and I just want to expand on that just a little bit as we finish this up. We made a conscious decision. We've been around stock enough to know that we made a conscious decision to get the stock that we have and put them on this property. We know what these animals need, and we make sure that they have what they need. The end goal is absolutely to completely feed all of our animals off of the land that we have. But we set up a new farm every 3 years. And so the perfect outcome isn't always available to us. But we have chosen to further our experience so that when we do get on that farm, that dream farm someday, we're fully prepared to steward that place to the best of our ability through all the lumps that we've taken along the way. So I just want to finish up with that. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Y'all have a blessed day.